glad that Donald Trump had the audacity, the boldness to stand up and say America first and make America great again. And they immediately labeled that as racist. Okay? That shouldn't make sense on any level to you. And if labeling that as racist makes sense to you, you're a mindless individual that shouldn't even be voting. Okay? And if you take, as I've said many times, just a cursory glance and look at the results of what Trump has said, see, here's what, let me show you this trick that was done with this whole Trump thing. And Indivisible, groups like Indivisible are out to get Trump. And here's how it goes. I'm gonna make this a very basic thing because I really want people to understand what's happening here. So you take a group like Indivisible, whose sole purpose is to destroy Trump and what they call the right wing. Well, I'm a part of the whole Make America Great Again movement and the right wing. So what they do is they turn to the black people. And the Indivisible is primarily, white liberals, people, a lot of people of Jewish descent running that. And here's what they'll do. They'll turn to the black people and they whisper, he's racist. They want to take you back to the days of slavery and Jim Crow. That's really the types of things that the left says. And black people, being gullible as hell, he's racist. He want to take us back to Jim Crow and slavery. Now, that's a childlike mentality that falls for that. That's an uneducated, historically incompetent mindset that it takes that to fall for that scenario. Now I'm going to give you some examples of how Trump and his actions refutes the lies that they tell on him. Trump is for school choice. I got to start there. Here's why I start with school choice. Because school choice allows poor black kids in urban America to go to these Catholic and parochial schools and not have to worry about the tuition costs. So now, let's look at this. And this can happen all over America. It's happening in Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Columbus. We have it here in Ohio. And and we need it in a more expanded form. So if a Republican that you're claiming to be racist, and all Republicans are for school choice, are out here saying, we want school choice, and they understand that means that all these poor urban black kids can now go here in Cincinnati, Ohio, to Xavier, Moeller, LaSalle, Roger Bacon, McNick, etc., because of school choice. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to afford to go there. So they can get a voucher to go there. So you're giving them the ability to receive a better education than what is currently available in the public schools. So you're saying that this man that is advocating for educating these poor black kids is racist? That makes no sense. See, when you dissect and you break down their arguments, they look like fools. They look like idiots. So Trump did that. Then Trump did the empowerment zones. Okay? So this guy's supposed to be a racist. He comes with the empowerment zones. Empowerment zones are specific to the urban core. Mike, who lives in the urban core? The urban core of America is largely made up of black individuals, black families. So now you have this supposedly racist president that is not only an advocate for better educating these poor urban core blacks, and who is not only an advocate for creating these empowerment zones where now you can get better, high-paying, more secure jobs with better insurance and dental and all these things. And you're working with employers to create job opportunities here. What happens? Let's really look at this. You create an empowerment zone. Corporation X, Corporation Y moves in there. They're paying good money with medical and dental benefits and vision benefits. These families haven't had access to that prior to that. Now you're giving somebody to the ability to be self-sufficient, but not just to sustain, but to go beyond, say, sustaining and actually live a life and enjoy and live a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. That then It's passed down. That's a generational thing. That's a break from the generational poverty and existence on welfare that the Democrats are perfectly fine with as it relates to the Black urban core. Obama went out promoting that whole thing, and he had a goal of getting more people on public assistance. But when the Republicans said, no, the goal should be not to get more people on public assistance. Let's get more people gainfully employed and educated. That was called racist, and they say, oh, he's trying to tell you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And we all know that the Democrats have made that whole concept, that whole idea of pull yourself up by the bootstraps is racist. But you have to be a simple mind to fall for this. This is common sense. I sat down and these very things I explained to children, literally to children that were in grade school and middle school. I did not identify any of the policies by political party. So they're hearing the raw policy, no Democrat, no Republican attached to it. Okay? These are children. So I'm explaining this to them. Every child agreed with the policies and the politics of Trump and the right because it made sense. It makes sense to human nature to want to be self-sufficient and not dependent. Frederick Douglass, right up here on the wall, he asked his master, why is it that you continue to advocate for me to be dependent upon you for food, clothing, and shelter? He said, you don't depend on anyone for food, clothing, or shelter, but you advocate that for me. I want to be like you and be self-sufficient and independent and not reliable on anybody else for that. I want to acquire it for myself because Douglas realized if you're dependent upon somebody else for those things, you're going to get a minute, limited amount of that. But if you're independent, self-sufficient, you can just acquire to as far as you're willing to go. And that's the reason why once he became free, he died with over $300,000, which this day and age would be millions. Now, how did he do that in the 1800s? And you got Black people walking around here now in 2025 talking about you're oppressed, you're a victim, and you need to be involved in this civil rights movement. Civil rights has already been obtained.
What baffles me isn't just that secular academia dismisses the notion of God and operates with the assumption that he doesn't exist, but while exhorting this belief, seems like they invest countless dollars, resources, searching space for some intelligent, powerful being that placed them here on earth to tell them a purpose, a reason why they're here. By definition, wouldn't that be God? Hey, yo,